It is finally time. College football season is finally here. Week 0 is kind of just an appetizer, but the first drive alone of Kansas State, Iowa State, and it immediately felt like home.
Yeah.
Watching Iowa State go 3 and out, maybe they got I can't remember if it was 3 and out or they got one first
I think
down.
it was 3 and out. I think it was 3 and out.
And then they punt and muffed punt. Then they fumble on the 1. I was saying I had a little bet placed in just like last year with Georgia Tech, Florida State, week 0 unders, especially rainy conditions in Ireland.
Yeah.
They moved the ball a little bit early on in that first and second quarter, but they could not finish drives. I believe at halftime, there were 4 fumbles, 1 muffed punt, and a turnover on downs.
Yeah.
Like, that's just classic American sloppy college football that is better to watch than really anything else.
Yeah, it was an ugly game. It ended up actually being pretty fun at the end, though. The last quarter or so ended up being decently exciting. I will say both those teams' defense, those conditions looked horrible. I mean, the rain itself was bad, but the field looked like it was in pretty rough shape.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Kleiman said something about that as he was walking off for his halftime interview. Just not complaining about it, but more just it's been a challenge. We're having to work through it or whatever. But so yeah, not the best showing of college football, but in a way, the perfect showing of college football. I always feel a little underwhelmed after week 0 because it always just does leave you wanting more. I'm always so excited for it and then leave man, I have to wait a whole other week for real football after this. But it was, that Stanford Hawaii game was pretty fun if you watched any of that.
Yeah, JAA saying, let's go Gators. Go Gators, man. It's finally time. But yeah, that Stanford Hawaii game was really cool. I mean, that redshirt freshman QB for Hawaii.
Yeah, the 5'10" kid. Yeah, that was fun. He's a fun player.
Major Diego Pavia vibes from him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe he'll be playing for Vanderbilt.
I mean, do you see the way he was hopping in and out of the huddle because he couldn't put weight on one of his legs, leading a game-winning drive? That was sick. That was awesome.
And we haven't even mentioned Dan Mullen and UNLV's game against Idaho State that happened yesterday. We all assumed that all the defensive problems were just on Todd Grantham and the coaching staff. But you look back to yesterday and you saw that Idaho State offense just run all over. Just like how LSU did back before Grantham was fired. The game, as he got fired right after the LSU game, the defensive line was just doing nothing. Linebackers, they couldn't really stop Idaho State's run game at all. And maybe it's just a talent thing. But it's not necessarily a player thing. I don't understand what the problem is because you look at that team and 5-star corner, 4-star safety, 5-star linebacker, 4-star linebacker, 4-star defensive tackle, 4-star edge rusher. The talent was good enough to be starting for SEC teams based on their high school rankings.
Mm-hmm.
But they weren't able to stop an FCS school from running for 200, 300 yards.
Not even a particularly good one either. Idaho State was 6 and 7 last year or something like that. So they didn't have a very good record. Yeah, I mean, that was a defensive disaster class. I mean, the offense looked pretty good. I was very intrigued coming into the year with what Dan Mullen could do with Anthony Calandria and Alex Orji. And that part of it all looked pretty good, which I think you would come to expect. But I mean, if that's anything more than just week 0 jitters, I guess, people are talking about them as a playoff contender. I mean, I think you can go ahead and hand the Mountain West to Boise State if that's what they're going to be putting out out this year.
I made my playoff predictions on Thursday night. I guess I could share them later in the show. And I had them in as my 12th team in. So, SMU made the playoffs. And if you remember their week 0 game last year against Nevada, where they should have lost to Nevada.
Should have lost. Yep.
And they squeak away with the win. And it was all the SMU hype had died down, but they managed to pull through and really improve throughout the year, figure out their QB and defensive line was really good. So maybe they'll pull something through on defense, but man, that defense just did not look good at all.
Yeah, and I'll say this, guys, I understand it's week 0, and it was his first game, so I'll allow it. But can we please not, as a fan base, be hate watching UNLV every week. I don't know. I feel like we've moved beyond that. Like we should be a playoff team this year. We don't need to hate watch UNLV guys.
So here come them Gators. Yes, sir. I didn't hate Dan Mullen. I think he quite clearly did start giving up after that 2020 season. Yeah. And I know he wanted to go to the NFL, and there was a lot happening in college football with the new NIL and transfer portal stuff. So I can understand, kind of happening. And, I still had a spot for Dan Mullen because he did lead us to 10-win seasons back-to-back years. And then 2020, we were a game away, 2 games away from making the playoffs. Mm-hmm. We lost by 3 to LSU and by 6 to Alabama. Like we were 9 and 3 points to Texas A&M. We're 12 points away from being undefeated in 2020 and being in the playoffs. But it's like, I still had a bit of respect for him. But there's also a part of me that, is like, there's fans that are going to be like, hey, he has success. Georgia fans, Tennessee fans on Twitter and everything that are going to be like, hey, look at Dan Mullen having success at UNLV. That could have been Florida.
Oh, I'm not saying you have to like Dan Mullen. I'm not saying you have to root for Dan Mullen. I'm not saying either of those things. I'm just saying every Gator account like in my feed was like, ooh, another long run for Idaho State. It's like, come on, guys. That's all I'm saying.
I gotcha. Michael, what's up, guys? I seen the post y'all made about me taking the need to beat teams we lost to last year. Yeah, I mean, they're important games. I mean, A&M especially. That's kind of right after a Texas game. We could either be needing to recover from probably going to be a really physical game against Texas, and the LSU and Miami games. I mean, LSU maybe not as physical as a team, but mentally it's going to be a physical game. And Miami and Texas, like we have a bye week after the Miami game, but those 3 games back to back to back, and I think A&M might be one of the most like underrated important games on the schedule because of where it's timed in between Texas and obviously Mississippi State after that game, but Georgia. We're going to be looking towards that Georgia game after we play Texas A&M. Hopefully that doesn't mean we undermine Mississippi State, but we know what that Mississippi State talent's like.
I'd say especially like the Miami game too. Like I don't really know how to explain it, but like I just feel like the Miami game is really one you just can't afford to lose with everything else that's on the schedule. I mean, maybe you get a little more leeway there if you do go on the road and beat LSU in week 3. I mean, if you don't, that becomes an absolute must win at that point the next week against Miami. But I don't know. Like, I think, I mean, we'll see what happens against like Georgia and Texas, but yeah, I think A&M, I think Miami, I think these are games that it's a brutal schedule. And if you want to be competing for the playoff, you just have to find ways to win those games.
Yeah, absolutely. And Georgia game that really, I don't know if a game's crushed my soul more than that Georgia game last year, being there in person. I mean, the amount of hope I had in that game, when we got that first pick and then 1 play touchdown to Aiden Mizell. And then, the next drive, we get another pick. And, we get stumped. We only get a field goal, but still it's Georgia. And then the next drive, we get a sack and get Georgia off the field again. We take the ball back. And then Lagway goes down the next play. Like the gut, like it really hit. So it's going to be nice to hopefully seek some revenge on him. All right. The SEC officially announced kind of a bit out of nowhere. Like, I think around like noon or so, it was reported that there was some talks again about the SEC going to 9 games. And then I believe you said it was at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because you messaged me that was annoying for you. But at 5 o'clock, they officially announced that the SEC will be going to 9 games starting the 2026 season. And every team's going to have 3 constant rivals that they play every single year while rotating the other 6 teams. So you're going to be playing every team every other season, which is really cool now. So Georgia can finally go visit Texas A&M some point within the next 4 years at least. And we'll get to play Auburn again, which we done once since like 2012. So that's going to be nice to do. But all the talk is about who is Florida's rivals going to be. Now, Georgia's going to be one. That's a guarantee. Yeah. There's a couple, like most teams have one team that Texas, Oklahoma, Alabama, Auburn, Florida, Georgia, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Like everyone, nearly everyone, I should say, has one of those teams that they're going to be on the one of those three. And then we start getting the question of who are the other two for Florida?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think if you ask most Florida fans who the biggest rivals are, they'll probably say Tennessee and then LSU.
Yeah, probably now they'd say LSU. I mean, if you ask an old head, they might say Auburn. But I'd say right now, like if you ask like median age Florida fan right now, they'd probably say Tennessee and LSU.
Yeah, but then you have the question of, man, Florida's had the toughest schedule, like one of, if not the toughest schedules now, back-to-back years. Like, we'll see what happens this year, obviously, but Florida's schedule is going to be really tough this year. It was really tough last year, and if you're saying every single year we're going to be playing UGA, LSU, and Tennessee, and then you add on the fact that we're going to be playing, imagine we get a season where we're playing Georgia, Alabama, Texas. You know, if LSU and Tennessee are at the top of the conference, like, that's a legit possibility to happen. And it would just be absolutely insane. And then you have another team like an Ole Miss who's like, oh, their toughest rivals, Mississippi State. And then they maybe it's like Oklahoma or someone like, and then another.
They'll get LSU. I bet they'll get LSU. That's a pretty big rivalry, the Magnolia Bowl, historically.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. But, like, I saw a graphic for Mississippi State, I think. Or Auburn. No, it was Mississippi State. And it was like Ole Miss, Auburn, and Kentucky.
Yeah.
And the schedule, the difference between that and what Florida's three are is just night and day.
So I feel pretty strongly. I mean, I don't know if we want to get into it yet, but like I feel pretty strongly in saying that's not what Florida's three is going to be. I don't necessarily, there's like two different things I could see them doing. Some of the one, I think it might come out of left field. I mean, do we want to just get into what we personally think it's going to be?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think, I mean, obviously it's going to be Georgia as one of them. I feel pretty confident in saying one of the other two will be Kentucky.
That's one that I've thought about.
I think the fact that, you know, still an old SEC East rivalry, frankly, Kentucky, a team without a lot of natural rivalries, I think you might kind of, and that kind of leads into my next one, which I haven't really seen a lot of people predict. I think South Carolina is going to be the third one. And I think it's partially, I think, well, so here's the thing. Tennessee and LSU all have bigger rivalries. Like, I mean, Tennessee, 100% they're going to play Georgia. 100% they're going to play Alabama.
Well, actually, is 100%, Tennessee 100% going to play Georgia?
100% they're going to play Alabama. 100% they're going to play Vanderbilt. Yeah. I think the third one is almost guaranteed to be Georgia, though. I think because of the proximity, I think they're 100% going to have that be an annual rivalry. LSU, they're going to play Bama. They're going to play Ole Miss, I think, and they're going to play Arkansas. Maybe you swap Ole Miss with A&M or something. But like, I just, it's more a function of like, there are other rivalries that have to be protected. Whereas like Kentucky and South Carolina, I think you're going to struggle to find protected rivalries for them. So I think they're just going to lean on, hey, these teams played every year for, 30 years as part of the SEC East. Why not? That's kind of what I think is going to happen.
So my thought process was that Florida's probably we're going to get Georgia. And then my thought was, okay, we're probably going to get one of LSU or Tennessee and then one of Kentucky or South Carolina. I don't know if they'll give us both Kentucky and South Carolina.
I think there's like no chance we get LSU. I think if we got LSU, that would stun me. I don't think they're going to protect that one. I mean, we had, I didn't even realize until this week that one actually has been annual since 1971. So there's definitely history there. But I don't know. Like, it's just like, I think you have to keep LSU Alabama because that's the kind of a newer money rivalry.
I think that's one that could get thrown out the window.
I don't know, man. That's been how many times in the last 20 years has that been the biggest game of the season in the SEC? Like, I just think it's too much of a new money rivalry for them to get rid of it.
And it was always the CBS, or it's been for a while, the CBS or now ABC. It was night game. Everyone gets that, but like it was the night game. But so it's like
like their one flex option night game. Yeah.
I mean, Rob right here.
Rob, like
LSU, Alabama is gone.
So Alabama's going to have Tennessee and Auburn for sure. Who would be the third then? Because I don't think there's an obvious third for Alabama.
No, you're right. I don't think there is an obvious third, but then again, it's like maybe they have one in mind. Like
I saw
I saw an Alabama fan saying Mississippi State is like a huge rival of theirs, and it's like you're just saying that to get the easier schedule.
I mean, it is, but they've beaten them. They haven't beaten them since 2014. It's like not, and probably before that it had been another 10 years at least. So like, I don't think that's really a real rivalry at this point.
I think they beat them in like 07.
Yeah, they might have beaten him in 07, the year that Bama lost to like Louisiana Monroe, Saban's first year, maybe. Yep. But like, and they beat him in 14, the Dak year. But like, other than that, they haven't won in that series. I mean, maybe they keep it. I mean, you also kind of have to make these balanced because, like you said, like some of them do just look pretty unbalanced when you look at like what the logical teams would be. I mean, I think if it's what I said, I think that would be great news for Florida. I don't think any Florida fan would complain about it being about South Carolina and Kentucky being the other two.
Rob, Alabama is not going to play Auburn, Tennessee, and another top-tier team. I don't think Auburn or Tennessee are top-tier teams.
No,
I think
Auburn hasn't been good in a while, man. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw Auburn hasn't won like 10 games since, was it 2019? Did they win 10 games in 2019? I think they went 9-3 in 20. I think it was 2017.
Yeah, 17 was the year they were one game away from the playoffs.
Yeah, they were the SEC championship.
Yeah, and then Tennessee. I mean, Tennessee's won in that series twice in 25 years, something like that.
I think Tennessee's a good tier 2 team, like in a general consensus, but like this year they're not going to be a tier 2 team or like tier 4.
Maybe they might be like a very bottom end of tier 2 team. I could maybe see that, but yeah, I agree with your general point.
So yeah, another team that's been thrown around quite a bit for Florida, Oklahoma.
Yeah, that one I don't really get that one, especially because like I think Oklahoma, there's such obvious other options. I mean, Texas and Missouri are no brainers there.
Yep.
I mean, and then give them A&M, give them Arkansas. Both of those make
LSU,
way more sense. Or LSU. Yeah, even LSU. I mean, I don't really know. It's not even like there's the national championship game, but Florida that's like the only time Florida's like ever played Oklahoma. Like when was the last time Florida? I mean, they haven't played since then. They played in the Cotton Bowl. I forgot about I've put that game out of my memory.
Spencer Rattler game, yeah.
The Kyle Trask Cotton Bowl. That one's just not. That one has been memory hold. So I guess that game did happen. I stand corrected. But yeah, I don't really get the Oklahoma chatter. I've seen Auburn too, which I wouldn't complain about. It's the closest SEC school, which is kind of crazy.
Old time rivalry.
I just don't see it happening because I think Auburn just has other games they're gonna give them.
I mean, LSU Auburn was also a game that.
Yeah, that one got.
They didn't play this year though.
Yeah, that one got the axe with the format they went to for 24 and 25. So, yeah, I mean, I think there's also part of it, like you mentioned, like there's other factors like rivalries that have kind of aren't real. Like you mentioned, like Mississippi State's, like Kentucky being one of them. Like that's not a real rivalry, but because neither of those teams had like real cross division rivals, that just was the protected right. So it kind of like organically developed into one, sort of how like Florida and LSU did. So like they'll probably keep ones like that too. So like there's that to keep in mind for like I think Vanderbilt's was Ole Miss, so that one will probably stay. Vanderbilt's like maybe old East-West cross division, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting to see how they do this.
I mean, hey, now you got Alabama and Vanderbilt being a rival because of Diego Pavia.
True. Yeah.
I mean, Vanderbilt in the entire state of Alabama.
Yeah, really just Diego Pavia just has a bone to pick with that entire state. He really has personally made his vendetta to bring them pain.
But so with this, there comes also a new rule in the SEC. Every SEC team has to schedule at least one Power 4 out of conference opponent. Now with Florida, we already have FSU scheduled for every year, but we also have a bunch of other non-conference games scheduled with the likes of Arizona State. I believe we have one with Cal and Colorado. So we already had a bunch of them scheduled. And Notre Dame, I think, was even scheduled.
One of those got canceled. Colorado we had. I think Cal might have gotten canceled. One of them got canceled.
Okay, maybe Cal did get canceled, but we already had a bunch of those types scheduled. And if you look at, I believe I sent it to you, 2028, we were scheduled to play out of conference at Arizona State, Colorado, at FSU, and Furman. So now, just by default, one of those are going to have to be rescheduled, or either rescheduled or just canceled straight up. And it's not going to be FSU, and it's probably not going to be Furman, being realistic here.
No.
Can't do Billy's alma mater like that, but big time game for them. But
yeah.
So it's probably going to be one of Colorado or at Arizona State. And I mean, I think if you're looking at it from a TV deal, from TV and viewership, I mean, I guess both of them. I mean, Arizona State's just made the playoffs last year, had that fun game against Texas, so they're high up. And Colorado has Dion right now, but how
will
long
they in
is
2028?
That's what I was getting at. Are they going to have them in 2028 is the question. So, I mean, based on if you want the easier schedule, you probably take Colorado at home. But maybe TV deals to go into Arizona State, and it's a home and home with both of them, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right. Yeah, that would be my guess, would be that Arizona State's the one that gets cut. I mean, I don't know. Like, I kind of have like counterproductive thoughts on this, because I still, even though there's obviously now especially because Florida plays FSU every year, there's all the benefit in the world to just get rid of all those games. Why play them? You don't need them. They can only really hurt you, which I still kind of want those games to be played, even though I'm really glad Florida's not opening with one of them this year.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Like, let's keep the Notre Dame one. Like, they've got home and home with Notre Dame in like 2030 or something. Let's keep, like, that's cool. I'm sorry. Like, I want to keep that.
Yeah, that's one that I don't think really anyone. I don't think that's a game that people think about, but when it happens, hopefully both of us are on top of the college football world, and it's going to be one of those games that are like, wait, Florida and Notre Dame play this year or for the next 2 years? Like, that's going to be a really fun series there. But no, I think it's a really good rule, because now you can't have like Missouri. Now, I mean, let me go and double check Missouri's schedule. But like, if you check Missouri's schedule, Central Arkansas. Okay, they host Kansas, so that does count technically. Yeah. And I mean, Kansas looked decent. But then there are other games: Central Arkansas, UMass, and Louisiana. I mean, I guess they would still have Kansas. So
yeah,
it's just gonna stop other SEC teams from having really easy schedules.
Yeah, and like, again, like a decent chunk of the SEC, this isn't really a problem for, like, just Georgia, South Carolina, Kentucky, off the top of my head. Like, a lot of these teams have annual out-of-conference rivalries anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think this is interesting. Like, this is something the coaches were really pushing for, which is interesting to me, because, like, I don't know if you remember, like a year ago, all the SEC signaling was really anti-moving to 9 games. And then Sankey kind of had to backtrack, because at spring meetings this year, a lot of the coaches sort of privately and then publicly came out in favor of this model. They wanted a 9-game model with guaranteed. I think actually what the coaches were pushing for was they wanted guaranteed games between the Big Ten and SEC specifically, not just guaranteed power conference teams. But yeah, I mean, I think this model overall, like, I think 9 games is good. I think, more SEC games, especially with the playoff almost certainly being about to move to 16 teams, more margin for error. Like, I think this is overall going to be, I mean, you can feel, people feel different ways about like devaluing the regular season, but ultimately, like, I think this is going to make for some pretty fun conference games and conference races.
What I think this will also lead to is, I think it's going to lead to a 16-team playoff, or at least the SEC and Big Ten getting auto bids. Like the top 4 teams getting guaranteed bids into the playoff.
That's it, because that's what the Big Ten wants. The SEC has they initially wanted that, and they've now more moved toward just straight seed them 1 to 16. I'm not really sure why that is, unless it's just like they just want to throw the Big Ten under the bus. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see, because that's kind of the main debate that's preventing like some decision in terms of expansion, because there's just a lot of disagreement there. But I mean, yeah, I think we're probably heading toward a situation where if you finish in the top 5 of the SEC, at least top 4, you're probably either de facto or officially going to be a playoff lock. So
yeah, that's probably what we're getting at here. But hey, what this means is we're going to be getting more good football games for the Gators, although I think we already have plenty of them, so that's never really been the question with that's not been the question these past couple of years, but we're now going to get more other good SEC matchups, whether it's SEC games or SEC versus their out-of-conference opponents. I mean, hopefully we don't just get Texas. I mean, Texas has scheduled tough games, actually, so I can't really go after them, but hopefully we don't just get, like, Alabama scheduling Purdue to go and beat them up and get a free Power 4 win, but
I think that's probably going to happen to a decent amount.
Maybe Purdue will decline those games and in favor go and play maybe a Big 12 opponent.
That'd be pretty funny if they keep trying to schedule like Northwestern and like Wake Forest, and those teams are just like, no, we won't do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of Wake Forest, I don't know if you saw the new.
Yeah, dude. That's tough.
So to say it, Deshaun Purdy, it was announced that Robbie Ashford will be getting the starting job for Wake Forest, which is where Deshaun Purdy transferred to after originally transferring to Florida. And then he announced he has asked for his release or whatever it was to go back in the portal. And it was initially reported that he left because he thought he was going to start or at least compete for his starting job. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking, but at first I assumed it was a joke, but that was kind of just ended up being the truth there. But yeah, it was announced earlier today that Robbie Ashford will be starting for Wake Forest to start the season. Now, I don't know if Robbie Ashford is good enough or going to be healthy enough to play the full season,
probably
or
not.
Without losing his job. I mean, especially I think they're going to play like Clemson. I'm pretty sure someone good where it's like, they're going to put Purdy's going to get some playing time this year. Whether that sticks or whether it doesn't, that's rough to leave Florida. And I bet Florida probably was paying him more money than Wake Forest was.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think Florida's current backup situation is great. Like, I would feel better about it if Florida had Deshaun Purdy right now.
Well, would you know that Purdy can't even beat Robbie Ashford?
I mean, maybe not, but like, can Harrison Bailey beat out Aiden Warner?
Well, the reports have been that Bailey is going to be the backup.
I have seen that, which I wasn't sure if that was completely like how like solid that was. Because I mean, that's what I assumed, but then it just kind of seemed like the way they were signaling was that it was going to be Aiden Warner. So that's interesting. I mean, the thing with Purdy, like, I'm not even trying to be disrespectful. Like, someone just obviously gave that kid bad advice. Someone was in his ear telling him. I mean, I don't know what would lead you to believe that you would be even in the running to start at Florida this year, barring injury.
You also got to remember it was between like us and Georgia, which means he also thought he was going to be starting or battling for the starting job at Georgia, which is a little bit
that's at least reasonable. Yeah, I mean, they saw Puglisi,
I don't think that was going to happen.
No, I mean, losing to Rob, and that's just, I mean, we know all too. I feel like we know all too well what Robbie Ashford is, and it's not particularly good.
No,
I mean, it's when you're on your fourth school, and can't really hold down the starting job at any of them. I don't know what else to say. So,
Rob, and with DJ being hurt, that
I think DJ's going to start.
Never.
I think
DJ is going to start.
Like,
from what I'm told, I'm told DJ's healthier now than he was at any point last year.
We'll see about that. My take on the Lagway thing all camp has been, I'm not worried until DJ doesn't start the Long Island game. If DJ for whatever reason does not start the Long Island game, then I think that's when maybe it's okay to start panicking a little bit. But I don't think that's going to happen, and until then, I'm not too worried about it.
Well, on Monday, Napier said that Lagway was in the 11-on-11s, which he said that he was also in them the previous week, or it wasn't the first time he was in 11-on-11s. So Lagway's healthier than people think because of what's been put out to the media. Because the media, our reporters, have a lot of information, they say a lot of stuff, but Lagway is like the one thing they don't get. So it's like, hey, you're getting all this information about all these other players except Lagway, and people just assume that means the worst. But from what I'm told, he's good to go. Unless some new injury occurs,
Yeah.
Lagway is going to be fine for this, for the Long Island game, and hopefully for the entire season.
It also just seems to me like a lot of it is kind of miscommunication stemming from just how like hyper vigilant the staff is being with injuries in camp right now. Because I mean, it really seems like anyone, it's like you're minorly banged up, you have a cold, you're not practicing today. So I think that has kind of led to a lot of like injury concerns that aren't really anything to actually be worried about. I mean, I saw it was either like on through. You good?
Yep.
No, it's either like On 3 or 247. Someone reported like a day or two ago something like a source saying that Lagway, like he didn't play in the scrimmage or whatever, but like if the season were starting today, like he would 100% start. So like
I have information on that.
What?
So I have some information on that here. I'm getting
Gotcha.
mine. Okay. So that scrimmage, they didn't play Lagway. He didn't play him the 7-on-7 either. They also, a lot of starters didn't play. I mean, I know Jacoby Jackson and Jaden Ball took very minimal snaps. Rob, someone is robbing Tyler. Call the cops. Which Tyler? No, but from what I was told, they just rested him because they wanted to see the backups. Like that's where they were going to get like their definitive answers and stuff like that. Like they knew what they had in the starters, and Lagway didn't play in the other scrimmages because of precaution. But I was told that a lot of starters didn't play, or if they played at all, they didn't play that much. So I wasn't too worried about that because the news came out Saturday night, Sunday morning that Lagway didn't play even in the 7-on-7, and I had people in message boards or in chats really worried. And then the next day, Billy comes out and says that he practiced in 11-on-11, he's fine. So that's what happens.
Yeah. No, I'm not. It's not really. I think you worry about his health like as the season goes on a little bit. I don't really worry about his health coming in. I think he'll be fine. I certainly would not expect Harris and Bailey to start the Long Island game.
Rob here talking about Deshaun Purdy. The same thing happened to Greg Smith at North Carolina. Yeah, he's the backup there. I thought I saw he may have even been playing some linebacker for him. So he's a backup safety at the minimal there. But yeah, it doesn't seem like things went as well for him as he probably would have hoped. I mean, DeAndre Robinson's probably going to be starting, so that's good for him at least, but it doesn't look like it's going too well for Greg Smith. North Carolina.
Oh, okay. He went to North Carolina too. Okay, that's right.
Yeah. Here. It would be one of those give the backup the start as an award type of deal with, I'm assuming that Purdy at UF, but not Lagway.
I think he's saying Lagway not starting the. Are you saying because the backups have been running it all off season? I guess is the point you're making, Rob. Like it would be a reward for like being QB1 throughout all of spring and most of fall. I mean, I don't think they're gonna do that, but that's what I'm assuming he's saying.
Yeah, no, but unless some new information about some new injury comes out. Lagway's fine for now. Hopefully he can stay fine throughout the season. But yeah, I mean, we'll be right back from this break after this message from Mark Rogers.
You can make a difference here at the Voice of College Football. Use the Amazon link. Financially contribute to the Voice of College Football without spending a penny. Same shopping experience. It's easy. Go to any video on any channel. Go to the description section and grab the link right next to the capital letters that say Amazon. Use that link and Amazon will instantaneously convert to your account, settings, history, everything intact, just like whatever link you use right now. No difference. Pay no attention to the product that you see right there. Just go search what you want. Don't forget the Amazon link. Thank you for your support. Sincerely, the Voice of College Football.
Welcome back to Florida Voice of Florida Gators Live here. Kenny Roberts, good evening, fellas. Hey, DJ has to play or fans will go crazy.
Yeah.
You are not wrong about that at all.
I would not want to be on Twitter if DJ Lagway does not play in the Long Island game.
I will be waking up early Saturday morning to go and tailgate for this for the game. And if around like 3 o'clock I start hearing the rumors that hey, Lagway might not play in this game, I'm gonna be I probably shouldn't say too many things on here, but I think you can mix out some of the emotions that I will be verbally exuberating.
Yeah, I mean, this fan base couldn't handle that. I pray for all of our sakes that doesn't happen.
Rob, going back to earlier, yeah, sort of your start the first series and we never see you again.
I think that would drive fans even crazier than DJ not playing. Like if they don't say anything, but just have Harrison Bailey come out and take the first snap, people would absolutely melt down.
Oh yeah. So I mentioned at the start of the show, I had my playoff predictions. I have them right here. I'm going to share it to you.
Okay.
And you're going to see some interesting takes here. So I have Texas winning the whole thing.
Wow.
And
I just saw your most interesting take.
Yeah, so I kind of delete that UNLV one now. This was made on Sunday or Thursday.
Oh, that was not what I was talking about as your most interesting take.
Is it Washington?
No, it's Florida on the bye.
Well, so let me look at it this way. We've shared our record predictions. We've gone through the schedule. I have us at 10-2, with our 2 losses being to A&M and Texas. Yeah. I have Texas win the whole championship. I have Texas losing 1 game to Georgia. So I have Georgia losing 2 games as well.
Yeah.
To us and Auburn.
So would you have in this, just to understand, would you have Texas beating Georgia in the SEC championship?
Yes. Texas.
Okay, so that was okay. I could see where you're at, because then we would probably jump Georgia with 3 losses. Yeah, I could. Okay.
Well, I think we're above Georgia. I have both of us at 10-2, and I have us beating Georgia. So we did the tiebreaker over Georgia. Now, you could say Georgia having a win over Texas is the better win, but it's like we beat Georgia. Here, yeah. I'll explain. I'll just go quickly. I have Penn State and Clemson both going undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
I have Texas losing 1 game to Georgia, but then avenging that loss in the SEC championship game. I think there's a world where Texas could even jump Clemson because of strength of schedule, but I was like, you know what? I'll just play it safe and put Texas at 3. And then I have us at 10-2 with a win over Georgia. I have Georgia at 10-2, lost 10-3 with the loss in the SEC championship game. But I also have Georgia beating is Alabama, who's my 5 seed. And then my 6 seed I have as who's my 6?
You have
No, who's my 5? Oh, Georgia's my 5, then Bama's my 6.
Yeah.
And then my 7 seed Ohio State, I have them going 10-2, losing to Penn State, I believe, in the Big Ten championship game. Then my 8 seed Notre Dame, I just have them with 1 loss, but not a too difficult of a schedule. So, and then Texas Tech was just my champion. Like, I'm just predicting them to win it and threw them in there. And 10 seed Washington. That's maybe one other take. And I've been beating Ohio State.
That's interesting. That's interesting. I don't hate Washington as a CFP team though. That's an interesting.
I think their schedule's favorable, and maybe one of the coolest games of the year. The last week of the season, week 14, I have 9-2 Washington against hosting 9-2 Oregon. Winner gets in the playoffs. And Washington's home. I like DeMond Williams, so I put Washington in. I pick them to upset Ohio State too, which maybe a bit. That's like my one big upset in the first round. Then I liked UNLV, but I don't really like them anymore.
No,
I'd probably just throw in Boise State now, but
maybe... I like Tech. Tech's an interesting pick.
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech, yeah.
Yeah, I think Texas Tech. I think they have the best roster, or the most talented roster. Now, UNLV probably has the most talented roster in the bit in the Mountain West, but we saw how that looked yesterday. But I trust their coaching staff. I trust Baron Morton. Morton,
yeah, Baron.
So, and Texas Tech is going to be good on the defensive line, so I really trust that. And I have them beating Utah in the Big 12 championship game.
Okay, interesting. I like that. I actually am kind of high on Washington, but the 2 Big 10 teams I'm like highest on is like this year's like Indiana, the playoff sleepers. Illinois, in large part, just because if you look at their schedule, dude, look at their schedule.
Yes, I know their schedule is like way more difficult than I was.
Their hardest non-conference game is at Duke, and then they dodge like all the hardest Big 10 teams.
Here, so I have Illinois losing at Duke. I like Darian Minsa. I think
we'll see about that. I don't really agree.
And then I have them losing at Indiana. I think USC is a close game. I have them losing to Ohio State. I have them losing at Washington. That's pretty.
So you're just not as high on Illinois. Like you're like, I mean, I like the schedule, but I also just think they're.
I have them at. I
mean, they won 10 games last year and bring a lot back.
I think I had. Let's see. I did full predictions. Just from the top of my head, I see 4. Maybe I had them losing that Wisconsin game too at Wisconsin.
Okay, yeah. So you and I are just on very different planes of how high we are on Illinois. The other one I'm really high on, and this is more just because I'm really high on this team, Iowa. I'm like all in on Iowa this year.
I had Iowa 9-3.
Yeah, I could see them even being better than that, honestly, because I think they actually might have a not like on a sliding scale, but like a legit, actually good offense this year. I think that is very possible.
My question with Iowa is that I think their offense should be. I mean, they lost Caleb Johnson, who's a really good.
I don't think that'll matter, to be honest. I think they're good enough to make up for it.
I think they might have their worst defense in a while, and it's not gonna be a bad defense, but it's like their defense the past couple of years, or like 2 years ago and so on, was really the reason that they were winning 9 games a year, maybe. I think their defense is going to take a step down. Now, how much does their offense step up?
I will say, though, there is an element of like, I just trust Phil Parker, the Iowa defensive coordinator. Like, I just trust those. I trust those guys to figure it out. Maybe it won't be quite as good, but I just can't like comprehend an Iowa team that doesn't play like above average to great defense. Like, that's just very hard for me to picture.
Oh, I think it's going to be above average. Like that's like probably it's 4.
Okay. Well, I'm saying I think their offense and defense might end up both being above average this year. I really like Mark Gronowski. I think they got a legit quarterback who fits their system well.
You saw him throw that 5-yard out route and we're sold.
Oh yeah. No, but the way he can run, like I think that fits. Like I think that's part of the reason I think they can kind of replace Caleb Johnson, like in the aggregate, just because of what else they have. Like there's no one who's as good as him, but I think they have enough to make up for it. We've probably spent too long on this, but yeah, hey, it's the preseason show.
Yep, absolutely. And hey, Iowa gets to host Penn State and Oregon. So if they can pull off one of those upsets, that'd be really good for them.
That is tough.
Kinnick's tough place to play. But let's get into some bold predictions for this season here. Tyler, I want to start off with you. Yeah. What is your first bold prediction for this season?
This one's probably the boldest of the ones I prepared. But I'm curious how you feel about this one. I'm saying Florida has 1,000-yard receiver this year.
Ooh, okay. I like it.
Florida hasn't had one since 2002, I want to say.
I think it was 03.
It was either 02 or 03. Regardless, it's been at least 20 years. I think the talent is absolutely there. I think Lagway gives you the potential. I think the biggest hurdle here is just that the target spread is probably going to be a limiting factor for that. I think for this to happen, and kind of what I'm just banking on probably will happen, is it just one of these guys emerges as like a Lagway safety blanket, like a guy that kind of like what Elijah Badger was last year, but like even more so, like just like a guy that Lagway is going to look to like a lot. Like I think honestly, if one guy's going to, Ricky was very close. Rob, Ricky, I think it was like 35. It was even
if Mertz didn't get hurt, Ricky probably would have got it.
Yeah. I think Ricky, it was literally like 35 yards. But yeah, no one in the urban years, no one on the 2020 team. Kind of crazy to think about. But yeah, I mean, I think if someone's going to emerge, I don't know. Like, I think the leading receiver is probably like conventional wisdom would say Sturdivant. I think if someone's going to emerge and be the 1,000-yard guy, I would probably put my money on it being Trey.
I would have said J. Michael Sturdivant.
It could easily be. If it's a volume based 1,000 yards, it'll be J. Michael Sturdivant. If it's a average like yards per catch 1,000 yards, I think it'll be Trey. Does that make sense? Like
yards,
I think
I don't
like. I guess what I'm saying is like I think Sturdivant is going to get a lot of volume. I'm not positive Sturdivant is going to be like get the big because I think Lagway. I think we're going to run the ball enough that for someone to get to 1,000 yards, it's going to probably have to be like on some big explosive play, like on a decent amount of big explosive plays. So I'm saying I think if there is just enough volume to get there from just getting a ton of targets, I think it could be JaMychal Sturdivant. I think if it's just because someone ended up having like, the most explosive plays on the roster by far, then I would maybe say, okay, it was probably Trey Wilson that did that.
I think JaMychal Sturdivant's going to be huge on the deep ball. I mean, 6'3", whatever.
That's fair.
4.3 speed. I think. I remember how we've talked about it about Bowser and DK getting tackled inside the 5-10 yard line so many times this year. I don't expect Sturdivant to be tackled on those plays after catching the deep balls in open space like Badger was. But so I think he's gonna get those extra couple yards, and hopefully we get a full season of Lagway to get there. I mean, I think if you combine maybe what Trey does on the ground, I could see him going for like an 800 receiving yards and like 200 rushing yards and, 1,000 all-purpose yards. I mean, he could get to 1,000 receiving yards as well. I mean, I expect to have a really good season there. So I wouldn't be shocked if it's him, but I would probably go JaMychal Sturdivant because I expect him to be a full, true receiving threat, and I'm really high on him. Now, this is a take from Rob.
Yeah, Rob, I mean, I don't think is 3,400 yards enough to have 2,000 yard receivers.
If it is, you're not spreading the ball out as much as I expect us to.
Yeah, I mean, we just have too many guys. Like, you look at like Mizell, you look at the freshmen. I mean, look, everyone can dream, Rob. I mean, I think I could see Lagway throwing for more than 3,400, though. I'm not sure I'd bet on it just because, again, it's not about Lagway. I just think this team is going to have so much success running the ball that I don't know if they'll need. Like, I mean, that 3,400 yards is what? That's a little under 300 yards a game for the regular season. So, like, I don't know. Like, that's a lot. I don't know if Lagway will average that much. Not because he's not capable, just because I don't know if we'll ask him to. Like, do you think Lagway will average like 285 a game? Like, I'm not saying he won't. That just seems like higher end of what I would expect from him this year.
Mertz, I believe, got to like 2,900 or 2,800, and that includes missing his the FSU game
you're talking about in 2023,
the fourth quarter. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I expect us to be more successful offensively and have a bit more D. I think Lagway could get to like that 35 to 38 mark.
Maybe. My counterpoint to that, though, is I think our run game is just going to be so much better.
I was also going to say, does that include Lagway rushing yards?
I was assuming no, because he's talking about it in the context
that
of receivers.
Could also be in fact. Yeah.
Do you think Lagway, like, what do you think is a realistic rushing total, like sack included rushing total for Lagway this year? Because I'm not really expecting like massive production on the ground from him.
I think his health issues could be a concern for that, but say Lagway's, I mean, we'll see what his calf's at from the injury. I mean, I heard it's, I think it's a short-term thing that had really unfortunate timing. I think Lagway could get to like a 300-yard rusher, 400 yards.
Yeah,
and like
that's probably about 5 touchdowns.
6 touchdowns.
Yeah. That's kind of about where I'm at.
My expectations for Lagway, and actually I'll say this later on in the show. I'll get to my bold prediction here because we're spending a bit too much time on that. But so my bold take, I kind of just shared it with you. Florida gets a bye in the playoffs. I think we're going to get to 10 wins. I've been pretty adamant about this since the end of last season and since January that we get to 10 wins. And I think our tiebreakers are going to end up really well in our favor. Our head-to-head, because I have us beating Georgia, who I also have at 10 wins, and that's going to be a huge win. Our loss I have to Texas, who I have going 11-1, so we're not worried about them, and A&M, who I have going 9-3 and being the last team in. So I think we're good enough of a team. I think we're talented enough. I think there is a world where our head-to-heads could come and bite us, but I think we beat Georgia, and I'm not too high on. I also have Miami going 10-2. They were my first team out in my playoffs. So us having that tiebreaker over them, but I've said it. I have us losing 2 games. Now that could be any 2 games on our schedule. I mean, not any 2, but of those like 7 games that are going to be tough opponents, like I think we could go 5-2 in any of those games there. So maybe some of the tiebreakers are head-to-heads change up a bit, but I think Georgia's that one that really pushes us over to get that first round bye.
Yeah, so I'll just say right now, one of my others, which doesn't really feel very bold anymore after what you've just done, was that Florida makes the CFP, which I mean feels bold for me for where I've been at with this program. But
I see.
with you just putting us as the 4 seed, that doesn't feel very bold to me. But like I have us at 9-3. I don't think 9-3. I'm not as much in the camp. I also don't know why my screen looks like this right now. Apologies for that, guys. I really don't know what the deal is with this like glare. But anyway, I'm not as confident that 9-3 is just like automatically gets you in, even with this schedule, as some other people seem to be. I just think there's a lot of circumstances that could dictate that are outside of Florida's control, even if you're 9-3 with this schedule. But I think it probably does. Like, I think I would certainly say you're more likely than not a playoff team if you go 9-3 with the schedule, unless it ends up being like a surprisingly bad Georgia team. A&M isn't good at all. Miami isn't good. Unless these teams really end up not being that good, which I don't think will happen. So, yeah, I mean, I've got the Gators in the CFP. I think probably I would have us more. I would say, like, I envision a season where we're probably going on the road to another campus game for the first round. I'm not high enough to have us, certainly not as a bye team and probably not even as a hosting first round team. But I think the path is there. I mean, I think you're going to have to win some tough games, obviously, but I think the talent this is the most playoff caliber talent team Florida's had in at least since 2020, but honestly, maybe even beyond that.
Rob with the good bold take here. My bold prediction is at the end of the season, ESPN will be spamming that Lagway has still never lost a game that he started and finished. Book it. Go Gators. You know what? I don't hate that take at all, Rob. But I still see it being a bit of a bold take. I mean, if you're looking at it from a betting odds standing, what would you consider bold?
Bold, like, I don't know. I'd say, like, if we're talking like a line, like anything like plus 400 or more, like plus 500 or more. I don't know. I guess it depends on how bold we're talking. I mean, I just think this is like a pretty obvious monkey paw situation where that stat remains true because Florida loses like 3 games in which Lagway gets banged up in the middle of them and doesn't finish them. But I'm not sure. Like, I think that's probably more likely than the 12-0 scenario.
The Gators are plus 300 to make the college football playoff.
Okay. So that's honestly that's actually pretty, that's really not bad. Like, that's like, those are pretty decent odds. I'm surprised.
Well, if you look at it, there's 12 teams that are going to be, favored to make it. That's like how that would work, right? I mean,
yeah,
12 teams got to make it. There's going to be teams heavily favored, and there's going to be some teams that are 50-50, 51-49. And Florida's in that next group right there from like 13 to 20. So plus 300 is about kind of what I expect, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, what's the Vegas win total at? 7.5?
It's at 7.5, yes.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a little ambitious for a team with a 7.5 win. I mean, Alabama's win total is like 9.5 or something, or like 8.5 at least.
9.5.
9.5. That's what I thought. So yeah, I mean, like, that is a little surprising. Like, because I think the national view of the team is pretty high. Like, I think most people like putting Florida in the top 20 of your rankings is like a no-brainer. Like, it's something everyone's doing and doesn't feel like a bold take when anyone does it. No one feels the need to explain or justify it. Like, that is just kind of in like the zeitgeist how people look at Florida. So it's not ridiculous, but it's just like, given the schedule, given the Vegas win total, that is a little surprising to me.
Michael, we will lose 1 game to South Florida.
I will say I'm a little more nervous, isn't the right word, because I'm not nervous about South Florida. I think that game is going to be more of a challenge and tell us more than I initially would have wagered like a couple weeks ago before kind of learning a little bit more about that team, which we'll get into.
Hey, South Florida opens up the season Thursday against Boise State.
Intriguing game. Really interesting game. I mean, they might get killed, so maybe not, but we'll see.
All right. I guess my second bold take here. I just had it and I just lost it. What was it? That's it. Jaden Woods leads the team in sacks.
Wow.
I feel like there was another clip of him that went around with him working on the dummies and everything, and it's like he just looks so smooth. His strength is there. Like I feel like he might be the most talented edge rusher we've had since Carlos Dunlap or Dante Fowler.
Dante Fowler. Yeah, I mean at least Dante
like we've
Fowler.
had good edge rushers. I mean, Jonathan Grenard was like just named the top 50 player in the NFL. So he's obviously a really good player, but I mean, he was here for 1 year and it's like, I don't know. He wasn't a first round pick. Good. I think I said it when Jaden Woods committed. I said he was the highest talented player. I said he had top 5 NFL draft pick potential and everything that's been said about this kid here. I usually don't value too much what you do in your freshman season. Like, unless you're just astronomically bad or, astronomically good. I'm just like, hey, you have a good freshman year, or if you don't really do anything, it's like, your first year in college, you're just developing. But from everything that's been said about Jaden Woods, I feel like if he doesn't have like a good year for any college player, I feel like it'll be a letdown. I mean, everything that's been talked about him being a unicorn, all of the work that he's put in, it just feels like that Woods should have a really good season here. And I think there's a world where he gets to 10 sacks.
I mean, I like where your head's at. I mean, I love the potential with Woods. I think he's going to be really good. And I think he's going to be good this year and will play a role in the rotation. My problem with that is that just like, who's he taking the snaps away from to see enough playing time to lead the team in sacks?
Well, here's the thing. The edge room can all move around. When you have obvious passing downs, you're going to be playing you're probably going to be playing like 3 edge rushers. And it's like someone's going to move inside. I mean, we talked about it with like how last year Cersei would play snaps at nose tackle, and you can move McCray in there. You can move Sapp in there. I mean, I don't think Woods is going to be going inside like that, but like I think he's someone that's going to be able to get those snaps. And LG McCray has that injury question, and I'm beginning to worry a bit about McCray and what he's going to be able to do this season. And honestly, I'm starting to think Woods is probably going to play more snaps than he does this year. And I think Woods could also.
Are you saying that because of health, or what leads you to say that?
So not necessarily the health keeping him off the field, but the health allowing Jaden Woods to take his spot.
Okay. You're saying it gives Jaden Woods early opportunities that he wouldn't otherwise have?
Yeah, I think Jaden Woods, I think he has the speed and athleticism where we play 2 mobile quarterbacks in weeks 1 and 2. And they could rest LG McCray to be healthy for the LSU game. So, we have more depth, and he's obviously a 5-star talent. We hope he's a good player. I think he could get a couple sacks in those games. I mean, I expressed my opinion about LSU, Jarrett Nussmeier, and that LSU offensive line. I think he has a perfect opportunity to go there and get some sacks. I mean, Arch Manning coming into the swamp with a new offensive line. I think that's an opportunity to get Marcel Reed with now A&M's offensive line's really good. I just think I guess I can kind of encompass this into one. I think we're going to lead the SEC in sacks. Wow. And I think we were second last year, so I don't think that's really a bold. I mean,
it's not that bold.
To be number 1.
Yeah. There's just a lot of good front sevens in the SEC, so it's bold in that sense. But yeah.
Yeah. So I think we have the schedule to do it because I worry about some of the quarterbacks and offensive linemen on offensive lines on our schedule. And I think Woods is going to have the playing time, and having other great players on your offensive line, allowing him to get less focus. I mean, there could be a point to where they're worrying more about him than they are worrying about the other great players on the defensive line. So that could come into a factor as well. But I think he's going to have that perfect opportunity to step in and make a huge impact for this team.
Yeah, I mean, I see where your head's at, and I agree. I think he will make a huge impact. I probably wouldn't. I just don't really see the circumstances falling him to play into place to be that productive this year. But that's why these are bold predictions, I suppose.
So Rob, I thought LJ was moved to end, and no, so LJ actually moved from like that at D end, could play out the tackle last year as well, to now being a true jack. Now they all can play end jack. I mean, a little bit can play also defensive tackle as well if need be, but LJ is more focused at being a jack right now.
I guess I'll get into my next bold prediction. I already mentioned the CFP one, but This one, so I've got us at 9-3 for my official record prediction with losses to LSU, Georgia, and Texas. I think 9-3 still feels right to me with the schedule, but my bold prediction is I think I'm going to be wrong about one of those games. Honestly, the more I think about it, the more I feel about it. They're going to get Georgia or they're going to get Texas. So my bold prediction is I'm not willing to go out on a limb and pick one of them, because they all feel like losses to me on paper. And I mean, your mileage may vary on LSU. I think that's the third biggest game of the year, but you could argue Miami or A&M or whatever. But I think especially, I'll really say Georgia or Texas. I think Florida is, even though I'm not predicting it officially, I feel like Florida's going to pull one of those off. Probably not both. I don't think both, but I think one of them.
So you have us going 9-3 and making the playoffs. I mean, maybe LSU ends up being that team or Miami, but if we go 9-3, we're going to need a really good win to make the playoff. And, odds are it's that Georgia and Texas are going to be those high-level teams. So, if you're predicting it odds-wise, you probably need to beat one of Texas or Georgia to get in the playoffs at 9-3. So I like that take.
I don't know if you need it, but I think it certainly would help you tremendously. I think if Florida, because I mean, last year a 9-3 SEC team, it would have been Alabama, if I remember correctly, with the way the rankings shook out. Alabama would have made it if Clemson didn't bid steal. And I mean, Alabama, I guess they had Georgia. They did have the Georgia win. But I mean, I don't think there was they had an abundantly impressive resume. So I think Florida
what's more impressive? What's more impressive, having the win over number 4? Or if you're in Florida's case, maybe having a win over 15-20.
Probably what do you think over number 4?
That's probably where it's now maybe if you have the win over 15, 16, and 20 versus Bama just having the win over 4, maybe that's where you get it. But are we going to do that? And then you have to worry about our 3 losses to, maybe being the teams that are all 3 fighting for that playoff spot, and maybe that loss in the you have a tiebreaker. I don't know why I keep saying tiebreaker, but head-to-head that goes against Florida that keeps us out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's fair too. And just kind of sum up, just the more I think about this schedule and look at this schedule, I talked about earlier, how games like A&M and Miami, just feel so must win just because of what else is there. It feels very unlike, because I don't really predict a bad loss. All 3 of my loss predictions are games where I'm pretty confident right now Florida's probably going to be underdogs in them. I mean, we'll see about LSU, but I think even if LSU loses week 1, there's a decent, unless they get absolutely destroyed. I think they'd probably, maybe. I don't think they will. I think they'll lose. I don't think they'll get destroyed, but I think they'll probably still be favored in that game. But I guess the point I'm making is there's no way to me that Florida emerges unscathed from all those games that I think on paper they should win. But at the same time, I think they will probably score one of those upsets that I'm not expecting to kind of balance it out. So I think I'm sticking with 9-3, but I have a feeling it's going to be less chalky than the 9-3 that I'm predicting.
Yeah, that's fair.
And the more bold part is that I think I'll say they steal one of Georgia or Texas.
I think that's a good take there. So my last bold prediction, maybe not as bold, but I think to the national media, people are kind of just locking it in. I think Jacoby Jackson has more rushing yards than Jaden Ball this year.
I don't think it's unthinkable, but why?
So I think Ball's going to start, but then I think him starting, being the full-time starter, could also have them resting him a bit more. Against LIU and USF, I think Jackson could easily lead us in those games in rushing. I think he could go for 100 while Ball goes for 60. And then they use Ball a lot against LSU, so where then, they need to rest him a bit more against Miami, and Jackson leads us in rushing. Then they use him a lot against Texas, and maybe they even use him a lot against A&M. But then that Mississippi State game, I think Jackson's going to get a bit more carries. So it's I think in the big time situations, they're probably going to want to use Ball more. But I think in those other games, the easier, the maybe even Tennessee and Ole Miss games or FSU, I think Jackson could get a bit more carries while they rest Ball a bit more.
So is your prediction that Jacoby Jackson gets more carries overall, or just that he does more with those carries against worse defenses and totals more yards?
Yards.
No, yeah, like I know you're saying yards, but you're not necessarily saying you think he'll lead in carries.
Okay.
Like, because what I'm just thinking, I just operate under the assumption that whoever leads in carries will lead in yards. Like, I've just kind of assumed that would be the case because I think they'll both have good averages and stuff. So, but that's more what I'm trying to just clarify, what your position is. Like, if you think he's going to end up getting more carries, or
I guess he could have more carries in my scenario. Yeah, probably would need more carries. He probably would have more carries then.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's unthinkable. Like, I think this, you make some good points. Like, maybe you do use Bob more heavily in those games. I still feel like, because they kind of, I mean, they sort of did a hot hand thing last year, but honestly, like last year, it seemed pretty like just like intentional about splitting the carries. Like, it seemed like they had a pretty clear, like, we want to make sure these guys are getting even touches. And I would kind of assume they're going to do something pretty similar to that this year. I mean, I we'll see. Maybe one of them emerges, one of them looks better, and it could be Jacoby Jackson. I don't think that's like completely unthinkable. I would probably, like, I have Baugh as my offensive player of the year, non-Lagway offensive player of the year. So I can't say that I completely agree, but like, I think that just goes to show why I'm so high on the run game and maybe a little less high on like the numbers DJ Lagway puts up, just because you have two guys who could legitimately be like individually the best running backs in the SEC.
What about the take? We have 2 1,000-yard rushers. What do you think about that?
I'm that's a lot of rushing yards, man.
It is
a lot of rushing yards. Like, I like it because I genuinely do think, like, and some of y'all may not want to hear this, but I think the run pass split is really going to surprise a lot of people in terms of how run heavy it is with a quarterback like DJ Lagway. I think people that like laymen that watch the Gators are going to turn it on, like wanting to see Lagway throw for 400 yards a game. And I think they're going to be disappointed when that doesn't happen all that often. Just my prediction there. So, like, it's possible they get the carries. I'd say that probably is just, man, that'd be so many rushing attempts to get to 2,000 total yards.
They both go for 1,000, and Lagway throws for 3,500.
What'd they combine for last year? What did they combine for last year?
Are we including Montreal Johnson?
Because
they all three were even.
Yeah, like, I mean, so they combined for like 1,600 total, 1,700 total, the three of them,
and 21 touchdowns or 20 touchdowns.
I don't really see. Man, that'd be a lot of carries too, because Baugh and Montreal each got over 100, and Jackson was right there at 95. So to be more productive, primarily split between those two, man, they are toting the rock a lot in that scenario.
Yeah, like if they both get 1,000 yards and they both go for like 12 touchdowns.
I mean, that would be DJ attempting like 11 passes a game, which would infuriate
11 passes,
people.
250 or 300 yards.
That's what I was talking to a coworker, a non-Florida fan coworker who doesn't really like. He was talking. I was talking about Lagway's Heisman odds, and I was just like, why I think Lagway's a little higher than I would think, just because I don't think he's going to produce to that extent. And I was just like I think the average, like a DJ Lagway stat line you need to get used to is like 7 of 16 for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Okay,
like,
I don't think he's going to be 7 of 16.
I mean, okay, that's probably a little bit of an exaggeration, but like I don't expect super high efficiency from DJ this year. I expect like the ones that hit are big time. That's kind of what I'm expecting.
I'll say in the big time games to where he maybe needs to go out there and win them a bit, I think we could expect maybe like a 15 of 20 or 13 of 20, something like that for like 270.
Yeah.
Yeah, like something like that. And maybe hitting a couple more checkdowns than what he did last year.
His yards per attempt was 10 last year, which is pretty insane.
It is. It is really insane. And especially considering some of the opponents he was facing.
Yeah.
All right. That will do it for bold predictions. Surprised neither of us went and said he's going to win the Heisman, but that would be That would be the boldest take, I think, of all of them by odds, right? I mean, maybe us going 10-2. I don't think no. I mean, if we go 10-2, Lagway's Heisman odds probably go up a lot more than if he go 9-3.
Lagway's Heisman odds as of yesterday, he's plus 1,800. Same odds as Drew Allard and Julian Sand at plus 1,800.
Okay, Rob, I think if DJ has to play in the second half of the LIU game, I'm done for the season and fire Billy.
We can't do this. We can't do this.
There's also a difference between has to and he does. You know, if we're up like 35-0 and he comes out for the first drive of the second half and then he's done for, like, I don't think we should be complaining about that.
I mean, we're about to get into like our actual predictions, but like, guys, please don't like, there is absolutely nothing you can read into this game unless it's like legitimately close, not fake close on the scoreboard, like legitimate danger of losing in the fourth quarter close. If it's anything that's not that, I don't think you can read anything into this. I think you're going to see an extremely vanilla playbook because it's Long Island. And as we'll get into, well, it's Long Island.
It's Long Island. That's really all that needs to be said there. All right, we got some exciting news for you guys here. The Voice of College Football now has merch. I'm going to put the link in the chat here to where you can get your Voice of College Football merch here. And it's nothing crazy. It's kind of vanilla basic stuff, but that's kind of what I like. You know, I don't want to go around in public just wearing crazy over-the-top merch. Like, I kind of like the plain clothing, like the logos and stuff like that. And it's good price. That's what when I first saw the merch and first told about it, that's kind of what jumped off the screen to me, to where it's not a $40 shirt, a $40 plain shirt. You know, you can go out and get a $21 Voice of College Football shirt here. It's, you know, it's kind of plain, simple. Of course, the polo is going to be a bit more, but they got hats, shirts. We got even a mug and a tumbler there, a sweatshirt as well. I know I'm probably going to end up getting myself a shirt to wear and everything, maybe next week or so, but I think it's some really cool, simple stuff that you can find there. I put the link at the Voice of College Football. You can just go to the website and find the merch from there as well. They're going to be running some sales. Hopefully we can have some codes for you guys next week on next week's show. Maybe that's why I'm also saying I'm going to wait. But yeah, I think it's going to be some pretty cool stuff. And it's going to be nice for you guys to be able to support us a little bit there as well. Ooh, get that away. All right. And Tyler, I'm kind of going to put you on the spot here a little bit.
Yeah, go for it. What's up?
So I was thinking in my mind, we should kind of do a little college football pick'em, just the two of us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is just us picking games. It's nothing crazy. I'm going to go through like the big games of the weekend. This will include Florida games. So,
okay.
You know, I know we're probably going to disagree this week on the Florida game.
You asking straight up or against the spread?
I'm going to say straight up.
Okay.
So the first game, I'm going to keep track of the scores and everything. And last year with the Florida games, I came out on top, of course, because, you know, I'm like that. But
I was more of a Debbie Downer until the very end.
See, I just, you know, I know ball. No, but
yeah.
Let's just start here.
It's been established.
We'll do the Florida game later. Let's just, I guess, go in chronological order here.
Yeah.
The first game we're going to pick Friday night, Baylor-Auburn. Who do you got?
Yeah, I've got Baylor here. I'm pretty high on this Baylor team. I like them a lot. I think the way they ended the year was really nice. And like, I don't have a lot of faith in this Auburn team, especially, I mean, maybe it's misdirection, but man, the stuff that's been coming out of camp about Jackson Arnold is no bueno. It's no bueno at all. So, I mean, I think the defense will be good. I like Cam Coleman, but I think Baylor is just way more complete right now. I've got that's at Baylor, right? That's in Waco.
Friday night at Waco.
Yeah, so give me Baylor in that one.
I'm also going Baylor. It's the thing that really put me over the edge and is solidifying my pick. So I was kind of leaning Auburn was when Hugh Freeze came out and said that we might see all the three QBs in that game.
All three, not even two.
Robbie Ashford, Deuce Knight, and of course Jackson Arnold. So
not Robbie.
That's kind of
no. He's gone. He's the Wake guy. He's at Wake now. Who's the third?
Ashton Daniels. Sorry,
Ashton Daniels, who actually was pretty good at Stanford. He was like all right. So maybe there's something there. But
yeah, I think his legs give him a different level of threat than we expect. But no, I'm also going Baylor. All right, second game here. I'll pick first. Ohio State, Texas. We'll do Ohio State. I already said it. So I'm going Texas in this game. I have Texas win the national championship. I mean, kind of leaked it already earlier. I think Arch and the offense could be a question. And I mean, there's questions on both sides of the ball, but I trust the coaching staff. I mean, I got to have somebody that we're going against that I think is going to be better than expected. And I think it's going to be Texas. And I mean, I haven't won the national championship. Ohio State loses a lot. Now, Ohio State might have the two best players in the country, but I think Texas might have the third and fourth best players in the country as well. So
maybe
I think they're both right there, but I trust Texas' experience a bit more than I do Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, I think my problem with Ohio State is they do have the two best players in the country, the best offensive and best defensive player in college football, but it's what they have outside of that because they lost almost everything else. I mean, I think this receiving core is real. I mean, in spite of how Jeremiah Smith is incredible and he's going to be insane, but I think they're really going to miss Emeka Egbuka. I think he really helped. Like, I think like Carnell Tate's a downgrade there. I think they just lost so much. And I'm not that high on Ohio State. I mean, this is Ohio State, so it's relative. Like the floor is probably 10-2. That's kind of what it's proven to be at Ohio State historically. So, but I'm way higher on Texas, who I still have questions about, but I agree with them as the preseason number one team. I don't really like Ohio State's favored in this game. I don't really get it. Like, to me, other than the fact that it's in Columbus, because I think Texas is, to me, the team I'm much higher on going into the season.
Yeah, so we're both agreeing so far, picking the old Big 12 teams to win. Maybe Big 12 would have been the best conference if Texas and Oklahoma didn't leave, but or maybe we know nothing and they're 0-2 in those games. But getting next here, Tennessee versus Syracuse in Atlanta. This is a game I would love to be higher on Syracuse. It's just they lost everything from last year. I mean,
it's a rebuilding year. I like
maybe Steven Jelly is a lot better.
He was pretty good, honestly. He's been pretty good at Notre Dame when he's played. Like, that's an intriguing piece. But Kyle McCord was the most efficient quarterback most effective quarterback in college football last season statistically.
Besides when playing Pitt.
Yeah, but I'm saying they had the number one passing efficiency offense in the country. So, like,
I know.
I don't think you're getting that. That Pitt game was ridiculous. That was the most ridiculous game I've ever seen.
And then Pitt went and lost 5 straight after.
Yep, they did. No, I mean, I don't see it at all with Syracuse this year. I think they're going to take a step back. I don't love Tennessee, but I think Tennessee rolls them. Honestly, I think Tennessee rolls them.
I don't know if they roll him. How about? No, okay, no. We're just gonna keep it straight up. I was gonna say maybe do the spread on some of them, but no, we'll keep it straight up because there's gonna be plenty of games throughout the season to separate us. But yeah, we both got Tennessee in this one. I hope Syracuse makes it a fun game, especially because I also think Texas is maybe not blow out Ohio State, but I think they're gonna win comfortably against Ohio State. So having a close game on at noon would be nice. But yeah, we both got Texas in this one. All right, next game we're going to do Alabama at Florida State. Now, Alabama lost Jamarian Miller, but I don't think that changes this one bit. And I think they're going to roll them, that 13.5-point spread. I really like Alabama to cover that. I'm not the biggest guy on Ty Simpson.
Did I get that right? Simpson. Yeah, Ty Simpson.
Ty Simpson. I'm not too high on Bama's QB situation, and they lost a running back, but the receivers are out of this world. The defense is maybe one of the most talented, if not the most talented in the country. And I don't think Thomas Castellanos is going to be able to do much they brought in Gavin Sawchuk. I mean, they've recruited running back pretty well. I mean, like back-to-back top 100 level running backs. And so maybe the running backs are pretty good, but the offensive line, I don't think it's going to be that good. I don't think Deuce Robinson's going to be that great. I mean, really, their hope is Thomas Castellanos can scramble and just Johnny Wilson's down there somewhere, but his name is Deuce Robinson now.
Yeah. I mean, I think you and I are both, pretty high on Alabama. And even in spite of and it's like Ty Simpson, we'll see, but I think they have guys if Ty Simpson isn't good for whatever reason, you have Keelan Russell, who was the number 3 overall player in the 2025 class. So a 5-star quarterback, true freshman.
And Austin Mack, who legitimately battled for the job.
And they liked him. Like Austin Mack was a guy they brought with them. That staff brought with them from Washington, and he's worked with Ryan Grubb, the OC before, who went to Seattle.
He was a recruit. He never worked with Grubb.
Oh, you're right. Sorry. But he was a Washington signee who transferred to Alabama. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. You're right.
Four-star.
So Grubb recruited him. He never worked with Grubb. Grubb recruited him.
Yes.
Okay. My bad. So point being, there's a prior relationship there. So I think they have other options. I think they'll end up being pretty good. Like FSU, they're not going to be 2-10 with one FBS win.
No.
But I also
2-10, 0 FBS wins.
I'd say the ceiling is like it maybe 8-4 just because of the quality of the ACC. Like that's probably the absolute ceiling.
Yep.
I think you're looking at probably a pretty middle of the road team. Like I don't think being at home is going to help you much here. Yeah, I mean, just because it's week 1, I feel like this game could be sneakily like not as much of a blowout as everyone seems to think it's going to be, but like it probably will be.
Yeah, I think it will be. All right, next game. This might be where we have our first difference here, but LSU at Clemson in Death Valley.
I don't think we have our first difference here.
No,
I don't think we do.
because your family's Clemson fans. So
I'm all in on Clemson. Pick. That's not even why I'm all. Sometimes sometimes that polarizes me against Clemson. No, I'm just kidding. But no, like I think I just am really high on Clemson this year. I'm pretty high on LSU. I'm just really high on Clemson.
Yeah, I think Clemson's pass rush is going to be too much for Garrett Nussmeier. I mean, I know they just gave him the number 18 and earlier today, and that's something they've been going crazy about. But I don't think it matters much. I don't think the number is going to change his play.
Yeah, I mean, this is trial by fire for that new LSU offensive line. I mean, it's crazy to say because they play an SEC schedule, but this is maybe the best D line they're going to play all year, honestly. So, yeah, that's brutal on the road week 1. I mean, intriguing game. I mean, I'd say, I know Arch is the odds-on favorite. I still think in my mind, this is probably the 2 most likely quarterbacks to win the Heisman Trophy playing in this game.
I think Klubnik's the best bet.
I mean, Klubnik is my Heisman pick. He's my preseason Heisman pick. But I would we really do agree on a lot of these. Believe me, we'll get to the point where we don't. All we need is some data. I think you and I are like our prognostications like coming into the season are pretty similar, but I think once we get some actual data, we're going to disagree on how we feel about it.
Well, we're really different on LSU, but
that's true. We're pretty different on LSU.
Clemson good.
We're just both really high on Clemson. Yeah, I mean, I think if this game were at LSU, it would probably be enough for me to go the other way, but it's not. So I'm going Clemson here.
All right, last game before we start making our Florida predictions and stuff. That will also count towards this, but we'll make those picks later, although we know where we're going with that. Notre Dame at Miami. This is a tough one. This
one's really tough.
This, in my opinion, is the best game of week 1.
It might be.
I'm going to let you make your prediction because I might just go opposite of what you do here.
Yeah, the game I'm most excited for is LSU Clemson, but I think this might end up being the best game in terms of like, I really don't know what to make of this one. Because I think Miami is going to take a step back, but I don't think that necessarily means they will like record wise because they really should have been like a 12-1 team last year.
They should have gone 12-0.
Yeah, like so I think they could end up being like pretty much the same deal and like Notre Dame, I don't know. I like the running back. Obviously, I think Jeremiah Love's really good. I like Malachi Fields, the receiver transfer edition, but I don't like CJ Carr not securing that job until like a week before the season. And even it like getting leaked that he was losing at one point in fall.
Was that propaganda though? Was that rat poison?
Maybe I'm falling for propaganda, for misinformation. I don't know. There's a lot of subterfuge.
Or Kenny Minchie's is that good.
Yeah, I'm falling for the Kenny Minchie psyop. No, I don't know. Like is this game in South Bend?
No, it's in Coral Gables.
I think I'm gonna go Miami here.
I was hoping you'd do that because I really didn't want to pick Miami.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of, so I'm going to get a bit more football based here. I look at the team, I look at the roster, I look at Miami's offense versus Notre Dame's defense. Now, Notre Dame has Leonard Moore, one of the best corners in the country, and their other corner, whose name is not off the top of my head, is also really good. I trust their safeties are going to be good. The linebacker, it's going to be a good to great defense. But I think the one thing that I really question about Notre Dame on defense is their pass rush. Mm-hmm. They don't really have any pass rushers returning on this team. And Miami's offensive line, I mean, it should be one of the best in the country. I mean, You can say it's just because they're playing the ACC, but I mean, Malagoa, Bell, Inez Cooper, Brock Myers should be solid. And the other guy whose name's not coming to my head is also pretty good, if not is a starter experience. So the Miami offensive lines should be pretty good at protecting Carson Beck. And I don't know if I trust anyone in Notre Dame to step up as a pass rusher. And I think if you let Carson Beck have a clean, open pocket for the entire game, I think he could carve up that Notre Dame defense because he's going to have all day to throw. And I think he's really good at that. And then I look at the other way around, Notre Dame's offense versus that Miami defense. I don't know if CJ Carr's going to be able to throw it. Like, I don't know what he is as a thrower. Now, I like Notre Dame's receivers. Greathouse, Fields, you mentioned. They brought in a Wisconsin transfer whose name's not coming from the top of my head, but
not coming to mind.
Like an NFL type of receiver that was at Wisconsin, so his production wasn't there. But I trust Notre Dame more. But I think on paper, if Notre Dame doesn't have a pass rush, Miami could win this game. But since you're going Miami, I'm going to take Notre Dame.
Yeah, this one feels really 50-50 to me. And I think it's going to be a close game, which is, know, maybe like bringing up Rob's comment here. Like, this does kind of seem like a situation where we could just get a Mario coaching disaster class. I mean, this is like 100% the game and the situation where it would happen. I just think like, I just feel a little bit better about what I think Miami is right now. Like I think Notre Dame is going to be really good this year, like, and probably is a playoff team. Like you had them. I just like week one, both teams with new quarterbacks, but only one of them has experience. Miami has the offensive line. Like there's just a little bit more, I think, to trust when it comes to Miami. But I think this is the hardest game to pick for sure of the ones we picked so far.
Yep, and hey, it's nice to at least have a one game difference.
Yeah.
So now the winner, whoever wins that bet, I mean, if Miami wins, are you going to be celebrating Miami winning the game?
No, I think I'd rather see them lose than be right about our pool.
See, now you're in the lose-lose and I'm in the win-win.
Yeah, I really am in the lose-lose. I hate doing that. Yeah. I hate doing that, but yeah, there is yeah, exactly.
So I'm glad you ended up taking Miami there because I would have taken them if you picked Notre Dame. But we will be back shortly to talk about the Long Island, give our predictions, do the best we can to preview this game or however we can, but we'll see you guys in a minute.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click Join, and then select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.
All right, welcome back to Florida, the Voice of College Football. It's finally time. The whole offseason has been leading to this moment. Now, the past 4 seasons where we had Utah back-to-back, or 3 seasons, we had Utah back-to-back. I mean, actually, 4 seasons, because we played Ole Miss in the opener because of the illness. And then you played Utah back-to-back in Miami last year to open the season, where that week 1 matchup was so awesome to look at and be like, hey, we don't know what these teams are going to be, but that also gives you more hope. Now we have Long Island, which I kind of already marked down on my doc sheet our predictions for this to keep track of our records, but maybe something will change here. You said you tried to go and figure out this Long Island team. Is there anything noteworthy you have from this?
Like, not really, to be perfectly honest. Like, so, okay. Like, yeah, I really did. Like, I wanted to like go and find some cool like nuggets about this team. Cause I mean, obviously Florida, is in all likelihood going to win this game very easily. But I tried to find like some angle, some wedge, some player that would be challenging, someone that would maybe show us something guys. This team, this is not a good team. Like, this is not even a good FCS team. This is an extremely bad one. They went 4-8 in a pretty bad conference last year. This is their 4th year under coach Ron Cooper, who has been kind of traveled around, been at a couple FBS jobs over the decades, head man jobs, but he's never won more than 4 games in a season at Long Island. It's a pretty bad program right now. I mean, if there is like a single shred here of intrigue, it's quarterback Ethan Greenwood, who pretty inefficient as a passer last year, at least avoided interceptions, but had almost 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns on the ground. So, with the way Florida struggled against dual threat quarterbacks, like maybe there's something there. Like, maybe I would say if they stop him, it doesn't really tell you much, but maybe that's going to be an issue this year if he's running all over you. I would say that'd be a problem. I mean, looking at the offense, receiver Corey Nichols. He was their leading receiver last year as a true freshman. Leading receiver, he had 22 catches for 302 yards and a touchdown. That was their leading receiver. But he's a sophomore. True freshman. He's a sophomore this year. They don't bring a lot back. Like, they lose a lot of their leading rushers except for Greenwood, and a lot of their leading receivers as well. On defense, Todd Bowles Jr. is a DB here.
Yep.
Son of the Bucks coach, was 20 tackles, 3 pass breakups last year. Like,
solid FCS player.
I'm grasping at straws here. This isn't even like I was telling Tyler like before we started off air, like, Florida's we play an FCS game pretty much every year. Like, it's been like Samford, McNeese in recent years, Tennessee Martin a couple years back, like play a team like that. This team is like so far below as a program what even those teams are. Like, this is one of the worst programs in the FCS. Like, I don't have much for you here.
Yeah, I mean, I said it right before we went live. Like, this legitimately might be the worst team that Florida has ever faced, and it's not ridiculous. I mean, I'm looking back through the schedules, at least not ever, because there's probably some horrible team. Like, you see those graphics of like the weirdest school Florida's faced, and it's like it feels like a department of Florida. Like, it's not even a real team, but. In my lifetime, I'm looking back, and it's like there's obviously cupcakes. I mean, Jacksonville State and Bowling Green, like Jacksonville State, FCS program, but that's probably still a better team than what this LIU team is. But I'm looking through all these years, and it's like this LIU team legitimately might be the worst team that Florida's faced in my time watching Florida football. I mean, it might not even be close, to be honest. Like, that's how bad it is.
Yeah, I mean, they played TCU last year, was their FBS game. They lost that game 45-0. They played
35-0 at halftime, and TCU put the backups in.
Sounds about right. They played 2 ranked FCS teams last year. One of them was number 6 Villanova. They lost that game 24-10. Another one was number 16 Albany in the week 1 opener, which they lost 27-21. Here's the thing, though. That number 16 Albany team finished 4-8. They were preseason number 16 and finished 4-8. So
like FSU being a preseason top 10 team last year.
Exactly. Villanova ended up being preseason top 10. They're postseason top 10. They finished number 9. So that was a good team in the FCS that they at least held their own with. blowout wins over Sacred Heart and Stonehill. I want to say that Sacred Heart game, I think Ethan Greenwood in that game, their quarterback, scored a long touchdown on like a busted coverage on a tush push that like he just broke through and ran for like 50 yards.
That sounds familiar.
I want to say that was in the Sacred Heart game. So like this guy, I mean, maybe there's a little something there at quarterback, but I don't think he's going to throw. He completed like 52% of his passes last year, as you know. So I don't think he's going to do much against you through the air, but maybe he gives you a couple headaches on a few runs. But yeah, man, it's pretty bleak. Like I don't know. This team started 0-6 last year. So I guess, they won 4 of their last 6. That's something, I suppose. Didn't have an awful conference record. They were 3-3, but like we're exhausting things I can say about the LIU Sharks, to be honest with you.
This game, so we were originally supposed to play Florida A&M here, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And this game remember why, or do you know why it got changed to this?
Why did that happen? I'm trying to remember now. Was it just, I think if I remember correctly, it was just when the schedules came out for post Texas, Oklahoma.
I got it.
And everyone was just like, the schedule sucks. Let's schedule a different FCS
game.
I don't know. Was it that?
The game was scheduled for week 4 because they thought we were going to play Miami week 1.
Oh, that's right. Then that had to change. Okay, you're right. And then FAMU couldn't accommodate the move. Yeah.
I have their roster pulled up and it keeps crashing for me. The Long Island roster. So maybe a couple of us looking at it right now is doing enough.
I have it up as they're like, 2 people are looking at the another player I was gonna mention. Cam Ingram, running back transfer from UCF. Pretty much no production in like 4 years at UCF. He's a redshirt senior, but guy who was good enough to play for UCF at one point, I guess.
Was he like rated at all coming out? I don't even see him on high school on 247.
Yeah.
Oh wait, so the K, Cam Ingram. Okay, wait.
Cam Ingram with a K.
Still doesn't pull up. The only Cam Ingram is Pro Style Liberty QB from 2016.
I found his on 3. He was unrated as a recruit. This might have been a PWO. This might be.
I was about to say, is this a walk on?
This very well might be a PWO. He only had I think his leading year at UCF was 2 carries for 23 yards or something like that.
Hey, he averages over 10 yards per carry.
4 carries for 23 yards was his best season. Oh, okay. So he started at Bethune-Cookman. Sorry, he wasn't at UCF for 4 years. He was at Bethune-Cookman for 2 and then UCF for 2.
Rob, FAMU wanted more money. We couldn't afford to play FAMU.
Yeah.
It's like our recruiting list. We couldn't afford them. Yeah.
LSU came in with a bag at the last minute to get FAMU.
It was reported that we're paying LIU $500,000. Play this game.
I think that's about normal. I think that's usually
I know. I was just reporting it.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to have. Sorry, go ahead.
They have multiple offensive linemen under 6 foot. For reference, our shortest offensive lineman, Jason Zandamela, is just under 6'3" and is also our highest rated recruit on the O-line.
Yeah, see, this is why, I was, I've said, look, don't, read too much into the score. If Florida, takes their foot off the gas and, just doesn't do anything because they could win this game literally sleepwalking. With that being said, Florida could literally sleepwalk to, a 59-0 win in this game. I don't know what Long Island does that potentially even gives you a headache here. There's not much. There's really I was trying to find a single standout offense or defense. And I mean, their leader in sacks had 4.5 last year. Is he even still on the team? He is. Okay, he is.
Oh.
They still have their leader in sacks with 4.5 last year. DQ Watkins, graduate student from Oxford, Mississippi. Did he come from Ole Miss? Or is that just no? No, he was a Northeast Mississippi Community College guy. So okay, I mean, you got that guy.
Experience.
Yeah, you got a 4.5 sack guy. And he was the only one with more than 1 on the team last year. They had 12 guys with 1 sack. This team, this team's makeup is very weird. To the point where I almost wonder if these stats are wrong.
Are they a real team? Is this Bishop Sycamore of college?
Yeah, like they're just very confusing numbers. Like I don't understand how you have your leading rusher is your quarterback at 900, but your quarterback also only throws. So they had another quarterback play the first half of the year too, who was decent as well. Like he was a little bit more efficient. Actually, not even really. They pretty similar. Like I was like, it looked a little more efficient because the completion was slightly better, but like everything else was not really better. It's kind of worse. Other than the sacks taken, but he took fewer sacks and more snaps, so that's good, I guess. And they're both still there. I'm just assuming Ethan Greenwood's the starter. I don't think anyone's written an article about them naming him the starter, so I'm just assuming that he is because he started the end of last year and was the more productive player.
Yeah, that's the assumption I hear.
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's not a lot to say here. Like even like USF, like I think we can do a pretty lengthy, thorough preview for USF.
Yeah, we have stuff there.
And there will be some guys that like I think Florida truly does need to watch out for.
Ryan and Brown already, like.
Yeah, they've got some guys. This game, man. This is like a level of you don't really see SEC teams typically schedule FCS teams of this caliber.
Because they usually schedule FCS teams from the South.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And
they don't usually schedule the best of the
talent.
Best, but yeah.
It's because those South teams have talent from Florida, which they've played against those SEC level talents before. Like, yeah, I know guys who are like, I probably know guys who are playing at those FCS schools. Like, I know players from my high school, like West Florida, like, yeah, West Florida, I know I think are a level below, but
they're Division two. They're Division 2. Yeah.
I mean, West Florida might have more talent. I mean, they have Marcus Stokes, so that counts, I guess, a bit. Yeah. But
they won a national title. I think they were still in D3 when they won the national title, but they won a national title like 2-3 years ago.
I mentioned how they have multiple offensive linemen under 6 foot. It's both their centers. Or one of them's a center, the other is just listed as offensive lineman.
How much under 6 foot? Like, are they 5'11"?
5'11".
Like
5'11". Okay. But like, imagine
like they have like a 5'9" center.
But just imagine that 5'11" center lining up against 6'4" Jamari Lyons, 6'5" Mekhi Barrow, 6'6" Caleb Banks. I mean, yeah. LJ McCray, we talked about him if he plays in this game. We talked about him lining up a nose tackle. I mean, 6'6" LJ McCray is bulldozering that center 10 out of 10 times. Like, I think our defensive line.
Sorry, keep going.
Jamari Lyons recovered from the injury. I don't know if you saw the story that came out last week on how he was crying when he first got his jersey, when he first got his actual jersey, not just the black non-contact during the offseason, how it was so monumental to him. And this is going to be a really good game for the interior, these young, unproven guys, to go out there and get some confidence, because it's not even a question of, are they good enough to play in the SEC? They're good enough to go and beat these guys by multiple scores.
Yeah. And I will say one of the bold predictions I kind of left on the cutting room floor because I just didn't feel quite bold enough to me was that other interior defensive tackle spot will end up being like the least of our concerns. Like I think we'll be like pleasantly surprised by it.
That kind of sounds like a bad thing because like the least of our concerns, that means
I guess what I'm saying is I kind of wouldn't be surprised if the secondary ends up being the bigger position area of question than that. But point being, I mean, like, man, just the mismatch in the trenches here. Like, if DJ Lagway gets touched in the pocket in this game, that's like a failure. That's an epic failure to me.
Under 10 passes from DJ Lagway.
I think over, because I mean, how many passes did he throw in that Samford game? Granted, Florida didn't really have like anyone else to go to at that time, but like,
he actually threw a good amount. I'm pretty sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I'm saying over. I think he'll throw a decent amount in this game. I mean, I think you leave him in. Like, I don't think you have Lagway play a quarter. Like, Lagway needs the reps.
25 attempts, 18 catches, 25 attempts.
That's kind of what I'd guess. I'd guess he gets somewhere around
I'd probably guess like 12 for like 15, 300 yards.
Maybe. I mean, maybe. I think I think between that, like Lagway just should not get touched. And then like I also think like unless Greenwood just really is able to give you fits and escape the pocket somehow, I mean, I don't see how this team accomplishes anything against this front seven.
Yeah.
Like anything. I don't think there's not a big play threat in the receiver game. There's not like a guy who, maybe the offensive line, the pocket's going to collapse, but there's this one guy who can burn the secondary. I don't think that guy exists. I think the trenches here are just going to be, it's going to be a massacre in the trenches, to be honest with you.
I don't even know if it's worth our time to make a score prediction here. Like Gators a lot, LIU a little.
I had like 49-3 in my head was the score.
I think I'll say we get like 56-0. I think we shut them out.
Maybe. Yeah, that's actually, you know what?
Or no. I'm going to say 56-3. Greenwood's going to have like one scramble play.
Gets him in field goal range. They kick a sad field goal. Yeah.
And that's, I guess,
granted,
assuming
can this team kick? Because their kicker was 7 of 10 last year.
I was gonna say
tell me what his long was. This doesn't have data on what his long was. He didn't miss an extra point. He was 35 of 35 on extra points.
Their kicker is taller than most of their offensive line. Their kicker's 6'3".
Okay. Wow. Can he block? Can we get him? Can we get him in at center?
That's the question.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe a field goal. I mean, I only say 49. I think Florida could drop 65 or 70 easily if they wanted to. I just don't think that's just never been Billy's MO in these games. Granted, in this, it might not have to be his MO to drop 60 in this game. It might just happen organically. But I'd probably just lean towards we're not going to twist the knife against this team. That would probably be my guess.
Yeah. I was going to say the last time we even scored above 60 was back in 2021 against Samford when we put 70 up, but hopefully we're also not giving up 50.
55. Yeah.
Yeah. But then before that, I mean, we beat Idaho 63-10 back in 2018. So Billy's highest points was 52 against Eastern Washington. It was a Sunday game because a hurricane canceled the.
I forgot about that game. That was a weird game. That was his first year, right? That was 22.
Yes, I think it was right after the Tennessee game, right after a Tennessee game, 52-17.
Did what was I gonna say? How many points did we score against Samford last year? The Lagway game.
45-7.
Okay.
Remember, I'm pretty sure we had a couple. I think we had a couple fumbles inside our territory in that game.
Did we? Okay. I mean, granted, I don't really think DJ is going to throw for 456 yards in this game. Maybe. Maybe. I don't think that's just the way the game state's going to play out.
No. I mean, I'm going to look here at the box score. We had. We had one. Okay, we had one fumble loss. And one received. And did we throw a pick in that game? No pick. So I think we had a fumble, maybe a missed field goal or something in that game. Kicking. No missed field goal. So he said that one fumble, I think it was inside the 10.
Yeah.
But Adam Warner got a touchdown. 1 for 1 on drives. He can really sling it. But yeah, we're both picking the Gators to win. By a lot to a little. No doubt about this, but it's going to be nice to hopefully see DJ Lagway go out there and he gets that first big play. Social media is going to be going crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think in spite of all that, there's still things you can look for. I think there's things you still want to see in this game. You just can't glean too much from it if Florida does them. You know what I mean? You want to see Lagway go out there and look good and look fluid moving the ball. You want to see him make good decisions and all that. It's just if he does, that doesn't really mean anything good. It just doesn't mean, it's the absence of bad news, but not really the presence of good news.
Yeah. All right. That'll be it for that. I mean, we got that was longer than I thought we'd go. That was good, about 20-30 minutes. I'm not sure exactly how long that segment went, but
yeah, I was getting ready. I was gonna put notes together and stuff. And then I just quickly realized there wasn't really enough to necessitate that.
No. But hey, we'll have notes for the Florida, no, because you said you might not even be here for that show.
Yeah, I probably am not going to be able to be around next weekend.
Yeah, so that might just be me there for that USF game. I'll try to get some stuff from you, and maybe we can do a video or something. But
yeah, I could probably stop. I might stop by. We might put something out during the week or something with my my thoughts on week 1 and week 2.
Mm-hmm. But do you have anything else to say before we close out this show?
No, I mean, just like we made it, guys. I mean, it already feels like we made it because we had football. We had a full day of college football yesterday. We'll have some more coming on Thursday. Like next time you hear from us, Gators will have already kicked off. And like, I don't know, it's just been fun. I appreciate you guys sticking with us throughout the off season. Should be a really fun year.
Yeah, I mean, perfectly well said there. I mean, Rob here, DJ should be 11 of 13 for 256, 3 touchdowns in 1 quarter and a half.
That's honestly not unrealistic.
In a half. The first quarter, no.
Yeah, not in a quarter. But if those were DJ's halftime numbers, I'd be like, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean, that's 21 points there. Probably also adding like 2-3 rushing touchdowns.
I mean, we could literally probably run for 500 yards as a team if we really committed to it in this game. Like if we went full Georgia Southern and just didn't pass the ball once, we could probably put up 500.
Who do you think leads the team in rushing yards in this game?
I actually kind of do. This feels like a Jacoby Jackson game to me. I still think Baugh is the more productive back for the year, but I think this feels like a game where he might just get more carries because he'll be kind of the one that plays a little bit more like once it's very, very clearly decided. But then, I mean, I think, you know what? I could be Duke Clark. Like, it really could be Duke Clark.
It could be Katie Daniels, Duke Clark.
Or Katie Daniels, yeah.
Yeah. Treon Webb, I'm pretty sure, probably won't play because of his injury. So
is he out for like what's his deal? What's the deal on
I'm not really sure.
Because I was under the impression it was like a pretty significant amount of time. Like, is he?
No, like I think I heard their ideal return time. This was like a month ago or 2 months ago, whenever it came out, was like the LSU game.
Oh, okay. So he'll miss.
I've heard I heard the recovery's been going well. So
okay. So like worst case is he misses like the first month of the year.
Yeah, that's worst case should be by Texas. He's back.
Yeah,
but things can happen, and I don't even know if he was going to end up finishing as that third string because of Katie Daniels and the freshman that we have as well. So, but I mean, I think that's all we have for you guys. I will see you guys next Sunday, 7:00 as always. Tyler probably won't be here, but I'll try to get some stuff with him early, in the week, some videos, and maybe we'll also get some recruits at this game. I mean, there's the top recruits are going to be going to the LSU Clemson or Ohio State Texas games. So maybe we'll get like one surprise good recruit or something to come here. I mean, some of our own commits as well probably will be at this game, but it should be fun.
At least.
Yeah. Night game. It should be fun. Hopefully the Gators make it fun. I mean, hopefully, we don't need to make it fun. We only thing we can do is make it boring. In my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun. Like, it's fun for like 10 minutes to watch like just your team score a touchdown on every drive. But I will be honest in saying that probably the bulk of my attention after the first quarter will be on LSU Clemson. If I'm being completely
I will be at this stadium, and I probably have the same exact sentiment.
Yeah.
But hey, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. We love to hear your stuff. Even give us ideas and stuff to talk about on future videos. You can also become a member here at the Florida, the Voice of College Football, for $2.99 a month, but you don't have to do that. But thank you guys so much for watching. And as Tyler said earlier, it was a long off season, but boys, it's finally here. It's finally time to celebrate, relax, panic about every little thing. First, you know what's going to happen? The first play of the game, that's going to be like a 3-yard run, and everyone's going to cry.
There's 100%. So like I think that like if I can like prop bet, that's like an absolute lock that there's something that happens in the first 5 minutes of this game that drives Gators Twitter absolutely insane for one reason or another.
Lagway's going to get hit, and he's going to take a second to get up.
Yeah, that's a good guess. That's very possible. Or like there's a dropped pass or like a false
Khalil Jackson starts.
Khalil Jackson's just on the field.
Taylor Spear. Sorry.
Is he even on the team anymore?
Yeah.
He is Spirito?
Yeah.
Okay, honestly didn't realize he was still on the team. I wasn't sure.
But thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next week. And enjoy the game, guys. And as always, go Gators.
College football is even more